So here I am with my friends Daniel from Mexico and Anthony from the US. They're gonna give us their perspective about the protests and how things are going in Brazil. What do you think, Anthony? What do you think is happening?
Well, I think these protests are a very positive thing for Brazil. I've been living here for almost 6 years and I've never seen anything like this. In the past, I've just talked to Brazilians and they like to talk about football and television and anything but politics and social issues. And so I see this as a very positive change, that people are really engaged now. People really are standing up for their rights and going into the streets and really demanding that the government listen to their demands and improve healthcare, improve education, and corruption. And I think it's really a positive sign, and I hope it spreads to other countries in Latin America and also to the United States, because in my own country there's so much apathy. People are so brainwashed, so apathetic, just watching stupid television programs and talking about things that really don't matter much in the scheme of things. And it would be great if the Americans could also have nationwide protests like this against the widening inequality that's happening in our country, and the shrinking middle class and growing poverty, and just the looting of the country by Wall Street and the upper 1% of the population. And
do you think it could inspire the Occupy movement, like the Turkish inspired Brazilians?
I think it could. It's really hard to say with the United States because we don't have this history of solidarity, of social movement. Well, we did in the 60s, but since then it's really hasn't materialized. But I'm really hopeful that maybe this can be the start of something global, not just in Brazil. So I think there's hope.
How about you, Daniel? You arrived in the middle of a big mess. How long have you been here? What is your perspective?
So I've been here about a month. It's been a month. I'm just working here for a month, doing some stuff for the company, and I actually find it quite inspiring for all Latin American countries. I think it's something that many of Latin American countries should be doing. But I don't think I've seen it anywhere else happening, like where all the population of one single country is fighting for the same thing. I haven't seen it going on. Me, I come from Mexico, so actually what I've been seeing there is that even if there are some manifestations, the government is not doing anything, and it's basically because it's just manifestations going on just in one place. I mean, it's not the whole nation fighting against the ideas of the government. Actually, I think it's should be something that should inspire the nation, the Latin American nations. Also, I think it's quite not just quite inspiring for Latin American nations. It's also for the world's point of view. I think you can see it that there are not only young people or old people, it's families, everyone's getting together, but you can see a certain tendency of young people getting together and having the courage that probably our ancestors didn't have before, and actually to prove the government that the government is there for them, for us. We're not there for the government. What I found, on the other hand, kind of a pity is that actually it's quite a pity that the media is just showing the bad stuff, all the problems, all those. Sorry for the word, but stupid people, useless people that are just profiting of these moments just to just to do some destroying and stuff like that. Vandalism, useless things. I was just seeing the news a couple of days ago, and there was an helicopter shooting at some guys doing vandalism. They were not even with the manifestation, with the whole group. They were just alone on some street and just tearing apart someone's house. When they tore apart the front door, then they moved to the next one, and it was just useless. I mean, you can see they were not there with the manifestation. They were not there supporting the cause. And the problem is that media is just showing this to the world. A colleague of mine from France, he was afraid of coming here and to work for just 2 weeks because he thought there was a civil war going on. And why he got this idea is just because what everyone's seeing around the world is just the bad part. They're not showing all the families, all the young people, all the nation walking calmly down the streets and just shouting out loud what they feel and what they want, what they expect from the government. Actually, I think it's quite a good thing that this is going on. It should be profitable for everyone.
And if anybody wants to be inspired by the Brazilian movement, it's interesting to say and to state that the mainstream media tried to turn the public opinion against us, and they really show not the truth but what they want to show. But they were totally destroyed by the images from the internet of police abuse and the images of peaceful protesters. I went on the protest last Thursday, and it was the most civilized gathering of people that I have been in my life. It cannot be compared to Carnival, to other gatherings of people, to events that I went in Europe or to football games that I've attended to. That was the most civilized gathering of a big crowd of people that I have ever seen in my life, to the point that when the manifestation was passing in front of the hospital, people were shushing. People were shushing not to bother the patients, and the people from the hospital were applauding us, and we were applauding back, just not to make noise, not to bother people. But when we faced the police peacefully, they started shooting at us. Why? Because we were going in front of the symbol of media power in Rio Grande do Sul, which is RBS, the local global TV. They're trying to turn the people against us, but we have the internet, and you guys can be better informed, and you guys can have a good movement with a good leadership from the internet. Don't count on mainstream media, because it's not going to work. So here's a toast to democracy.